be honest, I don't remember when I made my last video, but I'm making one now because this past weekend was so much fun. As usual, I'm trying to be quiet because my host family is asleep, as always, because I always do these at like 11 o'clock midnight. It's actually going on midnight now, it's 11:40. Start of the weekend, yay! Yeah, on a Thursday night because we don't have class on Friday. So last weekend started obviously a week ago. Friday we just had orientation for our second session for classes. I'm thinking about possibly adding a third class for second session, even though a lot of people are like, oh, you should only do 2 classes because it's like so much work for second session. But I think it might be a good idea just to get some of my breath requirements out of the way. I don't know. I'm going to talk to my mom about it tomorrow because she's coming in and I'm going to have dinner with her. And then Saturday we left Reed Hall, which is where I have my classes, at 7:15 in the morning and headed off to Normandy because this was our Normandy Brittany weekend excursion, 5 days. So we left Normandy, we went to Rouen, which is a cute little town. They have some really nice churches. It was where Joan of Arc was burned at the stake during, I think it was the 100 Years' War. So I saw a church that they worked on. It was really cool. They had like 3 different time periods in it. So they did the middle and then one column and then the other column. And then we wandered around. And then we saw, there's a huge, like, it has to be at least 100-foot tall thing where Joan of Arc was burned. And this cute little, like, fisherman's church, which is what I call it, because there's, like, fish and stuff, and the inside looks like a boat, or the ceiling looks like a boat. So that was really cute. I'm gonna have to use a cheat sheet, because I don't remember what all we did. We had lunch at Honfleur, which is a cute little seaside town. It had little boats. Very typical seaside French town. We went to Deauville after that. Really boring. We were there for like 2 hours. Nothing to do. I mean, there's shopping, but it's all like boutiques. So it's like Burberry, Chanel, everything that people my age can't afford generally. So that was that day. Sunday, really somber, sad sort of day we did. It's really like the Museum of Peace in Caen. But I call it the World War II Memorial because it basically is a memorial. It basically is dedicated to World War II. We had Mr. Eintz was our guide. He was actually in the French Resistance, which is really cool. So we got to hear like firsthand what went on and everything like that. So and in the museum there's a radio that he built and kept hidden in his in like a can for vegetables, and he kept it sort of with all his other cans for vegetables. So it was really cool. We watched 3 videos. We watched one on it was basically like half of the screen was for the Allied troops and half the screen was for Germany, and it was the preparations for D-Day, when the soldiers came into the beaches and like all that. So it was really cool. The second sort of computer animation showing how the Allied troops defeated the Germans through all the French towns, and had pictures of villages and towns that had been destroyed. And the third one was basically the road to peace through various wards from World War II through now. And it was really depressing. It made me like, wow, our world is in really shitty shape right now. After that, we went to one of the beaches that the British invaded, so it was either Juno or Gold. And I had lunch there. It's really shocking to me to go to these beaches, which are beautiful, beautiful beaches, and like just think about how many people died there. It just like blows me out of the water. No pun intended. So I don't know. We went to the American Cemetery after that. They have a new visitors museum there, or visitor center, that has like pictures and movies and commentaries from people who were there about soldiers that were there. They have trinkets that soldiers brought into battle with them. They have like a little sound booth where soldiers that went and survived and came back tell stories about what happened. Unfortunately, I didn't get to look at all of it because we didn't have enough time. We only had about an hour at the cemetery, so we had to spend a little bit of time in the visitor center, and then the rest of the time in the cemetery itself, which is also really moving. There's over 9,000 people who are buried there, and it's like you can't even picture how many 9,000 is, how large over 9,000 graves are unless you've actually seen it, and even then it's hard to visualize. I mean, I've gone there 3 times, and every time I'm just even more and more blown away by it. So it's just really sad just to think about all of it. It's just very somber the same day, pretty much. But Monday we went to Mont Saint Michel, basically an abbey built on a rock, surrounded by quicksand, and the tides like move in and out really quickly. So we had a guided tour of Mont Saint Michel and the abbey. Gorgeous. I love Mont Saint Michel. I mean, it's fabulous. And then after that we walked across the bay, which is so cool because it's like all quicksand. Water is up to almost your waist at points. Like I had my shorts / the shorts that I stole from Andrew rolled all the way up about as far as they could go. I sunk into quicksand about up to my knees, had trouble getting out. One of my friends actually got stuck. She had like 3 people pulling her out. So there were girls like sliding in the mud and just being crazy. I mean, I've seen pictures if you saw pictures, it was just like these girls like mud monster, pretty much. But it was really funny. We had a good time with that. And then on Tuesday we went to Brittany, had a guided tour of Saint-Malo, which is really cool. It was one of the places that the Americans bombed, basically destroyed the heck out of it. There was nothing left, and the French government is like, oh hey, let's leave it the same, and it can be like a memorial sort of thing. People can come and see the damage that the Americans did, and they can save their asses. But the Malois, which is what the people from St. Malo are called, the Malois were not pleased with that. They're like, we want our town back. So they fussed with the government and eventually got their town rebuilt to how it looked like back in the 1200s, which was really cool. They had like a castle there, and apparently in the old days at like 10 o'clock or 10:30 or something, they closed the gates down to the beach, and they like ring the bell to make sure they get everyone out, or anyone who went, or at least try. And then after that, they would send down the dogs, which they like wouldn't feed, and the dogs would just go down and attack and eat whoever was there. And one day they found a soldier of the king's army or something down there. They were like, whoops, maybe we should stop this. This is a little barbaric. So they did. Also kind of humorous is that one of the churches in Saint Malo has cannons on the north side of it as their gargoyles, meaning they're facing Britain, sort of continuing their little feud thing that they have going on. So that was amusing. We stopped for lunch at some little seaside town, and it was like oyster bar, oyster bar, oyster bar, oyster bar, oyster bar. I don't like oysters. And it was Tuesday, so everything else was closed pretty much. So I didn't really eat that day. I mean, I had like some caramels and some apple cookies, but I didn't really. I mean, that was my lunch. And we stopped at a rest stop on the way. We left after we had lunch, and we stopped at a rest stop on the way back. So I got some cheese and crackers and ate those. So I was like dying. But I was kind of hungry. So we came back to Paris. That was that. So that was our fabulous side of this weekend in a nutshell. I could probably go on for a while, but I'm trying not to make this last 20 minutes. And then so that was that weekend. We came back. We had classes Wednesday and Thursday, meaning yesterday and today. I had exams both days. The one yesterday kicked my ass. I think I failed it. And then the one today, I think I did really well. I studied for a good 3 hours, writing out vocab, studying everything. So I think that one went well. Tomorrow I have off, and we're going and doing our group project up in Montmartre, about 2 movie cinemas that are up there or something, and then I'm meeting my mom for dinner, and then the rest of the weekend is still up for grabs, so I'll figure that out later. Yeah, so that's about what's going on with that. I should probably wrap this up because I think it's getting kind of long, so I hope everything is going well for everyone else, and I will do another one at some other point.